But good news, everybody, all the birds did survive the cold. So here's another unedited, just quick update video for you. Now that the cold is gone, it's supposed to be 72 degrees today, which is fantastic because I hate the cold. But with all that cold, we do have some good news, and we have some bad news, and we have some worse news. So we're going to start with a bad news. The bad news is right here, right there, that was our water heater. It was an on-demand tankless water heater for the kitchen. And I believe I stated in the last video that the hoses to it were frozen, so we didn't have hot water. Well, it cracked and broke. So I had to get online and order another hot water heater. So now our RV, which I say the Winnebago, it does have hot water. So we can shower and all that, but the kitchen doesn't have any hot water. So doing dishes, I just heat up water on the wood stove instead of carrying all the dishes out to the RV because it has a very small sink. So it's just easier to heat up water on the wood stove and do dishes that way. Because the wood stove's going anyway, it's not using any electricity, it's not using any propane, it's already burning. Might as well stick some water on it to heat up. So, oh, I hear some birds now. We got some running around. So good news is the animals all survived. First bit of bad news is that we did lose the water heater. Have to think here. I didn't plan exactly what order I wanted to do things in or try to remember everything. Another good news is Eddie harvested his first deer yesterday. It was a very small one. The bad news is that he harvested the deer with Ocean's car. So up here on Ocean's car, there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a huge dent right here. So we were borrowing Ocean's car and we were going to town, and a big doe ran across the road. Eddie hit the brakes, didn't hit her, and he started to let off the brakes and start to go again. And the doe's fawn, which wasn't, I mean, it was pretty small, but it wasn't like a spotted fawn, but it ran headfirst into the side of the car. There was absolutely nothing we could do about it. So instead of letting that meat go to waste, we picked it up, brought it home, and we harvested it. Because, I mean, the poor animal, you know, committed sideways on our car. The least we could do is make sure it didn't go to waste. So, so we do have one deer. We went hunting this morning and Eddie saw a doe come out of the woods. Well, it ran out of the woods. He got his gun up, it turned around, it ran back into the woods. So we're still, for harvesting out in the field, we're still at 0. Okay, so that was a bit of good news and bad news because now we have to fix Ocean's car. I think the worst news out of this freezing temperatures that we had is the truck. We did end up freezing and cracking the block on the truck. So, yep, that truck is no more. So, I think it was the day before yesterday that we thought it was going to be okay. The first day that it started to warm up, it was like 45 degrees, and Eddie used the truck just to drive me down to my tree stand, and we thought it was going to be okay. Well, then the next morning it was a little bit warmer, so I think that was yesterday morning. So he started it up and he would check the oil, and the oil was full of water. So the truck is no more, unfortunately, because that's something that we couldn't afford to lose. We did check into a new motor for it, and the cheapest one we could find was $1,450, but it would take time to get it and then install it. So the good news part of losing the truck is that we did manage to go and pick up another truck the same day. I looked into buying a motor for our truck, and like I said, it would have taken time to get it and install it, and we can't be without a vehicle. Ocean has his vehicle, but he works a lot. So but that is why we were in Ocean's car when the deer hit us. It was because we were actually going to town to register this truck. Now this truck has its own problems. The bumper is not on it, as you can see. It's in the back of it, and we will get it put on, but this bracket that holds the bumper is bent backwards, so Eddie's gonna have to heat that up and bend it back forward so that it's standing up like this one. It also needs an exhaust system. The exhaust pipe in front of the muffler is broke off at the muffler, so that needs to be done. It is a 5-speed standard transmission, which is no big deal. Eddie and I both grew up driving standard transmissions. But other than that, you know, it's a little dirty on the inside. The headliner's coming down a little bit, but we were in desperate need. We gave $1,500 for it, and we were able to drive it home. Whereas if we had paid $1,500 for the motor, we would have had to wait to get it and then put the effort into installing it and all that. So we felt it was just better to pick up another truck. Now, unfortunately, another part of bad news that comes with the truck is that the money for the truck came out of the money that we were saving to build a house. Because for you wonderful people that have been here since the beginning know that we are on a fixed income. And the only way we are ever going to build us a house is if we can save enough money to build a pole barn house, which is the plan because there's a lot less lumber involved. So it will be a lot cheaper than trying to build a traditional stick frame house. So that was the plan, but every time things like this come up, we have to take the money out of our house fund, which is not very large. So that was a downside to that, but at least we have a truck. We're able to go and get feed for the animals. We're able to go wherever we need to go. So, you know, it is what it is. I try not to stress about things that happen because there's nothing you can do about it. It's happened, it's over. Find your way through it and do the best you can and keep moving forward. So I think that is all of the good news and the bad news. At least I hope that's all the bad news. Let me show you the deer. So if you guys don't want to see a hanging deer, please look away. But we have it hanging here in the walk-in cooler. So it was a small one, but small will still feed you for a little while. And the cooler's at 38 degrees, so we'll let it hang for probably 3 or 4 more days. We just put it in there yesterday, so we'll let it hang for 3 or 4 more days, and then oh no. Well, I guess not all the animals made it. Or is he oh, he's just hiding. See that rooster right there? I thought he was dead, but he's just hiding in there. What are you doing? Oh, goodness. So all of these quail in here are all roosters, and a lot of them will get harvested. Well, that makes me happy. I thought maybe the other ones attacked him or something, but he's all right. So, all right, guys, I know this was a very short video. This time it looks like about 9.5 minutes. I just wanted to share with you how we survived through that cold spell. I could say that we learned our lesson for the next time it gets cold, but these are lessons we already knew. And I think our biggest mistake was we didn't pay attention to the weather, and we didn't know that it was going to get that cold. and stay that cold. I mean, last year we got down in the 20s, but then the next morning it would warm back up. So everything was fine. But because it didn't warm back up, everything just stayed frozen. And yeah, so I guess our lesson that we needed to learn was to pay closer attention to the weather. I mean, we're just so busy all the time that I don't even turn a TV on. So it is what it is. And you know, you do the best you can and you move on, and hopefully we're just going to keep on moving forward. But thanks for sticking with us, guys. I really enjoyed reading all your comments about how cold it got in your neck of the woods, and you guys have it way worse than we do. Oh my goodness, the comments that I read that were, some of you were at minus 49 degrees with the wind chill. Oh, I couldn't survive there. I don't know how you do it. I would literally be curled up in front of a fireplace and I would not move until it was probably 50 degrees outside. I am such a wimp when it comes to the cold. Anyways, I'm glad y'all made it through that storm mostly safely with no problems. I did read about a couple of freezing problems. Somebody's pipe broke, some waterers, but it was all minor stuff, and I'm glad y'all are doing okay, and we will see you next time.